Welcome to the Coffee Table Talks with Chris Payne, CISO, and Thor. That's Thor. And that's Will McCullen, the
Howdy.
program manager at the IT Center for Excellence at Pima Community College in Tucson, Arizona. And I am Rachel Arnold, the human API with Secure Nation. Levy could not join us today. They are a little under the weather. So it's just going to be us, and that's okay. We love all the things. Let me pull up the chat so we can see all of your wonderful, beautiful hellos and how are yous. We see you, Jake Johnson, Will McCullen. Is that you, Will? That's you. And my wonderful sidekick, Meg Jet, is in the background chitty-chatting via the host Restream.io thing. So there it is. It's awesome. So Chris is in between meetings today and joining us. Thank you, Chris. You the best.
Yay.
We love you for that. Oh, I need to turn you up because you absolutely joined in between meetings. There we go. Now we can hear you better. Is this a virtual background? I know. I saw you flipping through some stuff. No?
My office.
Nice.
Real.
Yeah, pictures don't work like that. So we trust it. We trust it. So today we're going to talk about GrrCON. And Will wore his shirt because I finally drug him along last year. I don't know how it happened. And it was so fun. We were talking about it in the pre-show, Will and I, a few moments ago. He was like, you were setting up stuff. What was it you were saying, Will? That I was setting up stuff? And
you were setting up stuff on the table.
Yeah.
We had gone ahead and we'd done a prior arrangement, and of course we did it wrong.
No, that's not. Yes, it was wrong. And that's okay. You were just wrong. But anyway. Continue.
But we had this incredible spot, and thank you so much. It was, the traffic going to and from, and it was an awesome event. I met a ton of people. Well, of course, I was with Rachel, so
yeah, you have no choice. They also have no choice. Like, no, this is Will. Be friends now, right? Anybody ever seen that meme or internet trope where it's like, make them kiss? Like, I'm like that. I'm like, I'm very aggressive. Anyhow, and what was it you asked me? You were like, can I help?
Yeah, I was just, well, you were going a mile a minute, and I was like, is there anything I can do?
You're doing it.
That's where I was at.
Yeah. Nope, 100%. You were already doing it. You were just there, and I was so glad that you were there because I know that you had to jump through a lot of hoops to get there, and then you brought a great entourage. You had Jim Craig with you, Dean, right, over there with you guys. And who else did we have? We had a bunch of
we had Steve Shively, and you see him in the chat all the time.
Yeah. And Steve was there. Steve was awesome. He was so welcoming to everybody, all your little conference goers, Chris, that were kind of newer to the industry. Steve was like this shepherd. He was like, awesome. Come with me, little InfoSec babies.
Yeah, you usually have Chris Roberts for that, but that's awesome.
Yeah, no, he was great with it. Yeah, Roberts was always good for that too. He was running around somewhere going from one thing to another. But
one thing I really appreciated at GrrCON was that it's like the entire community was there to help. And you really do a masterful job at creating that whole atmosphere where everyone feels ownership in that whole con. And that's just incredible.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's probably the highest compliment I could get, right? That's the kind of intent, right? We started 14 years ago. This is conference 13 because we lost one to COVID. It really is just something for the Midwest because everybody can go to Vegas all the time, and honestly that kind of got too big in my opinion for what I enjoyed. So we keep it small, and I spent some time as an adjunct professor, so we donate a lot of tickets to students, right, to make sure they can come. Basically, anyone that can't afford just emails, we almost always give them one. So yeah, we have a lot of potpourri of experience levels, right? A lot of new folks, a lot of really experienced folks there, and then the middle ground. I think it's really interesting to watch those interactions, right? And I think we keep it a culture of we don't play the the click game of like, you're cool, you're not cool, secret party, whatever. Like, we don't do that. I think we spend a lot of time ripping that stuff down when it does kind of pop up. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we're live. That's my husband.
I still have that Star Wars cooler, by the way. It's awesome that you made.
Oh, the Star Wars. Yeah. Josh made a desktop mini fridge. So imagine a mini fridge and then imagine a mini fridge. That's what this is. How many cans is it? It was like 4 or 6 like cans
4.
of soda. Yeah. Like it's so mini. And we were doing
beer, not soda, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Drink of choice. It's only going to fit 4 of them bad boys in there. So Josh, also in the InfoSec community, you can go check him out, Joshua Arnold. He's going to be so mad that I told you to do that. Try not to pester him too bad. He's a senior level SOC analyst at a major global corporation. Anyhow, before he yells at me for giving too much away, he is also a huge Star Wars fan, like so big. And he, for the Innocent Lives Foundation fundraiser that we were doing that year, he created a custom mini fridge that was all Star Wars out. Like, it was awesome. It was so awesome. What did Jamie end up winning the bid with? Like 666.
Yep.
I was like, yeah.
We were going back and forth with Roberts, and we decided just to end it, and just, obviously 666 is a great number, so we went with that one.
It is. It's a great number. It's very fluid. And anyway, she was so like over the moon happy. I've seen Jamie giddy, but I think she came out of her skin.
Yeah, I thought I was getting that, and no, it's in her office downstairs. Like, she literally told me, like, no, I won that. That's mine.
Yeah, that was hers.
You gotta learn one every now and then.
Seeing how excited Jamie was for her Star Wars bid war, Josh made her customized another thing that's the Lola droid. If you guys watch any of the series spinoffs and stuff, it's baby Princess Leia's little companion, and it goes flippy flappy with its little flaps. And he customized it all in pink for Jamie and gave it to her at the con. And he brought nothing for Chris. And he realized it once he got there, and then I think he tried to avoid you all.
I got what I deserved. It's fine.
Oh, that's not true.
No. Pink's easy for Pink Nightmare, right? Easy thing. If it's pink, she'll take it. She'll love it.
Yeah. He was so excited, though, to give it to her. He was nervous the whole time. You should have seen him. He was like a little kid on the plane. He was like, do you think she's going to like it? I was like, oh. Yeah, she's going to like it. It's going to be okay. I'm like, pat, little human. Like, it's going to be okay. He's really sad. So anyway, the first conference I got to go to was awesome. I don't think I slept more than 3 hours in 3 days. No, because I fell asleep on a bus and somebody woke me up to tell me get off the bus, and that was the end of my con experience. Also, I think I left my laptop somewhere, and you guys mailed it to me. Thank you.
Did we? I usually sell those, but that's nice of us.
No, it was nice of you. You did great. This is why I always bring Jamie presents.
It was probably a MacBook because I didn't want it.
I don't know. Actually, I don't even think it was my laptop. It was something else, because I would have probably pooped my pants if it was my laptop. I don't remember. It was something that I left. Obviously, it mattered a whole lot. But the part where you guys mailed it back to me mattered a whole lot. So Thank you.
Aw. We do a lot of weird stuff, to be honest. Like, we usually get people asking for another shirt or something, and we'll mail that stuff out to you. Now, this isn't an invitation for you to email us and asking for stuff. But we're pretty good about that kind of stuff. Jamie really gets a kick out of it when people ask for stuff, to be honest. So you're doing her a favor by asking for stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't expect this conference to get as big as it did, right? It's this little thing we did for fun, and it turned into what it is now. So
when you first started, what did it look like? What's the difference between then and now?
It was 500 people.
Okay.
I don't think it was quite that, but that's what I think our tickets we sold at, but good 20% don't come. We lost money, a bunch, and the rooms we do the training in, that was the whole conference, just right there. That was it. It was it was a good time. At the end of that, we didn't know if we were going to do it again, but we had so much fun. It was just it was worth it. And then we met some really cool people, and they helped make it what it is today. Right. So I think it's just blown up over the years. So
that's awesome. And what was your attendees number last year?
So we sell it at 2,400 like every year now. So before COVID, we just hit that peak. Then after COVID, we didn't know what was gonna, who's coming back, whatever, and we were just amazed by the response. I mean, everyone to get out of the house. I totally get that, but now we're way into ticket sales now. We've been for 12 days, and we're probably half sold out already, which is crazy.
There's a link for you. Go get them now. He's so serious.
But they will sell out. They do every year. It's crazy. We have people scalping tickets now, which is crazy. We got to the level where people are literally committing fraud on Facebook to get people to send them money using GrrCON.
Don't fall for it. Go to the.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Once they sell out, it becomes a problem. And again, if you're going to buy tickets to a market, that's your problem. Do whatever. Just make sure you use an avenue of payment that you can get returned to you if it doesn't go right. People using Cash App and stuff are crazy. I don't use that stuff.
Right. If you want to go follow Chris and updates for GrrCON as well, I made him a QR code that goes to his LinkedIn page. So you can go there and check him out and stalk him a little bit. That's fine. I mean, whatever he's got public. It's totally okay.
So you started this off just to have fun. When did it start turning into real solid work? Because it did, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. So this is Pink's entire job now. She was a chemist working for Pfizer's and Perrigo's, and she started helping year 4 probably. She always did a little bit of help because she's my wife, and she's awesome. She's all the things I'm not. But when she got involved, that's just who she is, right? She's like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it. And then it started really started taking off, probably in 2013 or 2014 maybe, and it became for her a full-time job. About the time I moved to Minnesota, when we moved there, she didn't get a new job, just started doing this, and we really saw the attendance and quality just skyrocket. Really, it's all on her, to be honest. I do the fun stuff. I designed the T-shirts. Right, I work to pick some of the speakers because she's not a computer person, she's a chemist person, but I think that's when it became a job. I don't spend that much time on it myself, other than the fun stuff. We already have the new shirts for next year. I built those. I already designed a new challenge coin. May 1st is when we start doing CFP reviews, right? So I'm heavily involved in that, and then the games and the fun stuff is where I spend a lot of my time. I get to do the fun stuff where Jamie does all the back end. She does all the logistics and sponsors and contracts and invoices. She handles all that stuff, so I don't have to. It's awesome. The best of both worlds.
Yeah, we love her the best. She just lets you go and do the fun crap, and she's doing all the paperwork over here.
Right. The reason you have servers and food and free beer and the tattoo artist, she handles all that. It was my idea, let's have some tattoo art. That'd be fun. I don't know how to do any of that. So she went to her tattoo artist and started asking. And now, we've moved on to tattoo studios a couple of times, but all the things, the Mech Warrior, BattleTech pods, that's all Jamie. We had an idea to have some cool stuff. So she went and talked to him and figured it out. Right. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, I think, do they have tattoo artists at any other conference? Because I've never seen one.
Not that I'm aware of. They also don't usually have free beer and food either at the HackerCon. I mean, there's larger industry vendor fests, totally, which are real things, and it's cool. You should go to those. I'm not saying anything negative about those.
Yeah.
But for the old school, kind of DIY HackerCon that we try to be, the old punk kid in me goes to run, I'm not aware of any.
Nope.
People complain about food every year, by the way, and I apologize. The food is what it is. It's not going to get better. It's so good.
It's not horrible. I've eaten it a bunch.
We have no choice. We have to buy at the venue. Everything has to go to the venue.
Yeah, it's not bad. It does what it's supposed to do, and you don't have to leave, and you didn't have to pay for it.
Right. It's certainly worth being paid for.
Somewhere in there, but you don't have to. You know what I mean? On top of your ticket cost, it's
our ticket cost is. Again, I'm sorry, I'm going to sound a little toot my own horn here, but our ticket prices haven't raised but once ever. Right.
Yeah.
We're certainly probably the cheapest hacker conference of our size around. but again, it's all on Jamie. She wants to give it back, right? The intent of this is to provide an opportunity for people to connect and like build relationships. How I like tell you how I know you, Rachel, like fully from GrrCON.
Yeah,
half the people I work with, I've stolen because I met them at GrrCON. Like it's a thing.
Yeah. So. It's a great thing to do. And I know people that come back year after year, and then I love and I hate, so there's this thing that happens every time I go to GrrCON where I cannot wait to like interface person to person with the people I already know. But I feel bad because I try to block off as much time as possible to meet people I don't know. Because that's the whole point, right?
The whole point.
Yeah.
I don't go to conference talks anymore. Even at other conferences I pay to go to, I just stand in the hallway. I do LobbyCon. That's all I do, HallwayCon. Yes, I can get that data anywhere. So also, we don't record talks anymore. We did that for a while, and I know some people were pretty upset about that. But that just became a logistics nightmare, to be honest. And like, there's just a bunch of other stuff around that whole thing, and it's just not worth the effort. And to be honest, I don't want you to watch the stuff on YouTube, right? Like, you want to do it cool, go nuts, but you should be there. You should ask the speaker questions. If it's not worth you, if you have to pick between what you want to do, cool, pick the best thing. You're not going to see everything. That's just life, and that's okay. Right? Like that's what we really want the social network. Well, we didn't run a virtual conference during COVID. We didn't want a virtual conference. We want you to come. Right. So we have goofy T-shirts and our badges are we're almost always homemade. Right.
I love the badge. I have my badge. I meant to go get them before we started today, but I didn't. The very first one I got, I think, was one that was that the one that Tim made for you guys, where it was he had all of his laser cutters and 3D printers going at the same time, and it was
He's made a couple.
Yeah, he made like.
Yeah, he tried to make. We want to make aluminum ones that with the teeth of the skull were lockpicks you could break off, but he made some, but they were dangerous. Like they were super. Like I literally cut my hands off. Like we can't use those. Oh no. So that year we went to the leather badges that he also laser cut for us.
Yeah.
Last year, John DeReich laser cut all those badges. So we've done like silicone molds with like gel, like with acrylic. We've done electronic badges a couple times. It never really worked out right. Well, they work properly and they're super expensive. We already have the badge designed for this year. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to show up for that. We already know the badge is going to be for next year. I think next year is going to be way cooler than this year. So I guess I shouldn't have said that out loud, but it's true. Next year is going to be way more interactive. I think we have an idea. The thing I've tried to do with digital badges a few times, it just didn't work. We're just going to do it analog, like old school style. Well, we've had foam nunchucks. We've done like flexi rubber, like the plastic nonsense. Like you name it. The first year electronic badge, we had one guy who was programmed, had an LED board programmed for everybody, and he asked you what you wanted, but then he just put a penis on it anyways. It was crazy. It's a HackerCon. You asked for it, you get it. Like
Yeah, 100%. No, I loved it. It's great. The first one I went to, they had you guys always have like some kind of a like car hacking or some kind of right. Last year it was a huge what do you guys call it, semi truck or tractor trailer or whatever you want to say, right? And I got to walk by that one a bunch because we were doing the coffee table talks live, so I couldn't do as much of the fun stuff. Which, well, I mean the coffee table talks is fun, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But the first year that I went, I had lots of time to just kind of mill about and just hang out and really just take everything in and go and see some talks that I wanted to go see. And you guys were, whose Tesla was that? It was a Tesla Model 3.
No, it was not a Tesla. We covered the badge because we got yelled at. So it was not a Tesla.
Not a Tesla.
But it was actually one of the people that run that village brought in their own personal vehicle to let people hack it. That's crazy. So
after I had taken the entire dash apart,
yep,
I didn't know that. I was respectful of the vehicle that was brought because I put all the bolts in a cup and kept them all together. But I completely removed the dash because it was Chris Roberts and his group of folks, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm horrible and I'm so sad and I feel very like I'm being super disrespectful to all the other amazing people that were involved with that. But I was walking by because I was super afraid that one of them were going to electrocute themselves. And so I was taking pictures of what in my brain was the last time anyone saw them alive. But they managed to get into it without dying. And there was one last challenge to open the glove box. And this, not Tesla, was in valet mode. right? So all these things were and the point was to get past the valet mode and unlock all these things. Okay, so they got stomped at the glove box, right? And on this not Tesla, there's no place and there's no showing hinges. There's like it's completely smooth into the console, right? And I I not knowing what I was doing, was like, well, you know what? Let's take it apart and see how it works. Because I already Googled and searched everywhere for schematics of these things. I used to work in an industry where being able to research for schematics and understand them and read them and was important to my job. So I knew how to do that already. And I got stumped because good job on not Tesla for not making all of their schematics to everything public. Good job. Yay, not Tesla. But then I got to thinking, what happens if this vehicle is impounded for policey lawy type purposes and policey lawy type people need to get into this? There has to be a fail-safe somewhere. So that's why I took the dash apart. So I took the whole dash apart, disrespectfully, and had it sitting in the thing. And as I flashed a light around the glove box compartment, I saw something glinting that had words on it and it said pull here. And then I realized that you could put a screwdriver in the door. So I didn't have to take the whole thing apart. I felt bad. But if you had opened the passenger side door wide enough, there were these little access points into behind the thing. And you should have been able to take a very long screwdriver and stick it into the little hole and pop the little fail-safe lever and the glove box opens. So that's how we opened it. So here are these wildly intelligent, super, super experienced cybersecurity people that are just so known in the industry got stumped on this, right? And they walked off to go get a free beer and mull it over, right? Because they were frustrated. And I brought the prize money package, whatever thing, to them. We ended up donating it, I think, to Hack for Kids or somebody. Anyway, brought it to them and I said, here you go. And this was the first time ever that I felt like I was welcomed into anything, like actually welcome, because I had assumed in my brain, I didn't do the work that it took to get there, right? And I was just some dumbass disrespectfully taking apart somebody else's car, which I also felt very bad about afterwards. And I was like, Robert, would you like for me to help you fix this? And he was super nice about it, but looked like he might murder me in my sleep. And said, no, it's fine. Anywho, and I brought it to Chris and his very smart folks, group of friends, and they were pretty dumbfounded. And I explained to them what happened and how I did it. And they were like, no, you did this too. And then suddenly we were all standing around taking pictures with each other about how we did the challenge together. And I was like, I feel like a scam artist because I just came in at the last minute. And he was like, it doesn't matter. We couldn't get there without you. You did it. And we didn't think of that. And that was like the biggest personal lesson for me about why diversity is important in our industry and why you should never, ever feel like you're not good enough to try, because you are. And conferences like GrrCON and what Chris, Jamie, and the team put together make that environment happen. Yeah. And it is magic. And I will never, ever turn down the opportunity to go.
That's absolutely necessary, right? And especially anytime. And thank you so much for including students, right? So from somebody from a community college, really, really appreciate that. And I don't know, did we just lose Chris?
Oh no! Yep. Wait, clicky the button. He's
there
back.
He is.
Yeah, I don't have it. I have 5 gig like fiber, so I don't know why I'm dropping. That's crazy.
You know what it is? The internet can't handle your level of awesome.
That's
but thank you for including students, right? So from community college perspective, that's huge. And being able to make that whole environment where folks can come in and feel welcome at every level, that is key. That is key to developing our whole industry, right? And by the way, we have one student who also worked on their car, and I highly recommend that if you do hook up with a car, you don't test your connection to the CAN bus by sending dev null to it. Bad things happen.
Oh no. What was the bad thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, not dev null, but dev random. So yeah, things don't quite perform quite the way they normally do.
Nice. Man, I didn't get to check it out though this year. There's going to be a car hacking thing again this year, right, Chris?
That's the plan. Everything's always up in the air until it's not. But yeah, the expectation is that we will.
That's awesome.
What are some of the more inspiring, life-changing sort of things that you've seen happen? I mean, you've got to have tale after tale after tale.
I mean, some of that's pretty personal, to be honest, with some folks. So I don't want to get in like crazy detail with things. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly like I've hired people I've met, like a person in like their first conference, I worked with them and gave them their first security job. Right, it's pretty common tale. I've certainly done a bunch of networking with folks, not only for myself, my benefit, because I'm also a jerk like that, but really around like finding people and connecting to people like, hey, I know you're into this, like you're into, like you want to get into car hacking. Here's Justin, right, that runs Car Hacking Village. Go talk to him, right? So I mean, there's a bunch of stuff like that, or really around like connecting the right people together. We've also worked, like, Z's bar, which we go to like every night of the conference, which just becomes the hacker bar. Their management come to the conference now. We actually hooked them up with somebody who had rebuilt their wireless network for them through meeting them at GrrCON and making that connection with Tech Connect, which is the Grand Rapids company. If you haven't used them, if you're in the area in Grand Rapids, Michigan, like they're awesome. Like they wouldn't hook them up and did that. Like just expanding the knowledge of like this is real stuff. That's not just like goofy stuff you see on memes. Like to people who aren't in this stuff, it's awesome. Like our event coordinator usually comes out with us afterwards from the event and like comes down and like we've had some go get like tattoos at our event and like go do car hacking or lock picking. Our lock picking village is also pretty dope, to be honest. Like usually we have like a safe cracker and a car boot you can learn how to take off if you don't want to pay your tickets, which is nice. But no, so like those just connections you get with people who I think have the right intention is super cool at the event. We don't have 30,000 people, right? So you can actually go meet pretty much anybody you want. The speakers are super like down to earth and they just hang out, right? They're usually in the VIP room, which is just a place with couches and video games, and just hang out and chit chat with people all day. Like it's great. Like when Roberts brings like a Pelican case full of scotch, start introducing people to scotch. Like that's not a hacker thing, but like I think it's a hacker thing. Like now I get to discover this whole new world of things I never knew about. But I think it's just that, like when I used to teach right at the university, the introduction to security to people who don't know, I think is the key thing. And I've seen that happen over and over and over again and really watch people blossom careers out of this. Like literally people I've met there now do car hacking for a living, right? Like my deputy CISO, I met his wife at GrrCON. Like she does crazy, like gonna get disappeared into a van type hacking stuff I want to talk about. But like her husband works for me now, literally because I met her through that thing, right? And like we've helped grow that career. And there's people that work, I worked with other companies, I worked in other places. You can look at LinkedIn and see the place I've been, who I brought in or I brought my teams to, and then they make connections, further their career, and just I built a lot of lifelong friendships, right? Like literally, like me and Rachel are on this call because of GrrCON. Like they're literally because of that. Like we usually have a party after GrrCON at my house, right? Like those are all like nerdy hacker people who know how we don't go hang out in like public a lot. Like I don't, right? It's just a thing. So that's the stuff I get from GrrCON that I really enjoy is those connections.
Yeah,
like all day on a computer in my
and
office.
if you love talks, it's a great place to go to get like this huge, just a plethora of different stuff. Like it's not just one silo of type of attacker model or blue team or red team or purple team or just vendors or just research. Like it's everything. There's like usually 3 different talk tracks you can go down.
At least 3.
Yeah, I've seen like talks about leadership, about how to build your resume better or hack your job, career stuff, all this stuff, and if you don't find something that's helpful, you didn't look. Like there's something that's helpful or fun or engaging. And if you hate sitting still in a room in a seat for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, however long that person's talk is, do HallCon, LobbyCon, right? Like there's so much going on. Oh, and if you want to know the fun, look, this is the tattoo I got. Wait, you can't see it. Wait, let me turn my arm all the way. That's my caffeine molecule, right? Because to me it makes sense. It's coffee table talk. Jamie's a chemist. I was like doing that. That's what I'm doing.
A lot of our talks, we actually prioritize first-time speakers. Like not every talk can be first-time speaker because it gets out of control. We actually prioritize that. So if you've never spoken, you want to speak. I mean, I can't guarantee you get accepted, but submit a CFP if you have a need. All we need is a cool sounding title and like one paragraph. Submit it. Give it a talk, send it in. And then when we ask you if there's other stuff we should know, like if you're a first-time speaker, tell us that. That's going to actually help you at our conference. We have the normal big hitters you see everywhere else. We also like them as well. They're good people and they give really good talks. But we want to be the first place a lot of people have spoken. Like we are, like our second day keynote last year or was the year before, like we were their first presentation they ever gave. So they like we asked to come back for a keynote, like it was obvious they were going to say yes, which we appreciate they did, right? Because we set that up, right? And we really want those people who haven't spoken before, right? Our second day keynote this year is somebody, I'm not going to say who it is yet, but like this is the first time keynoting, which is cool. Like that's the point. Like we want to do that. Yes, like we have people you've heard of that are going to do keynotes. But if you look across our history, a lot of them are literally one, super diverse, and two, many times like they've never done a keynote before, and that's important to us. Like it just is. And I saw a comment, sorry, from Robert. Yes, Justin, the guy who runs Car Hacking or used to, was one of my students originally when I used to teach. And that turned into him coming to GrrCON. That turned into that's what he does for a living now is hack cars. It's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
See, it's that kind of stuff. We're like, Chris, you're so humble about all of this, actually. Like you get, like I could see you tensing up talking about this stuff. Y'all, Chris changes lives. Okay. Like
not for the better, but I appreciate you anyway.
I didn't say for the better. I just said change.
We were on the same page now. And no, I don't change lives. I don't. Right. What I try to do is give people opportunity to make their own decisions in life. Right. Like that's my job at work. Like my real job, the GrrCON stuff I have fun with in my off time is really like provide data and opportunity and let people do what they want with it. Like you can totally decide you don't like any of this stuff and you want to go be a barista. That's cool. Go nuts. Like I tell my employees, if you want to be a janitor, I'll make you the best fucking janitor on the planet. Like that's cool. We're just here to help you get what you want to get out of it, right? We did add. I'm changing pace a little bit. Yep. Yes, DU. That's literally where I got all my degrees from. I was originally a philosophy student, FYI, but that doesn't pay anything. And then I joined the military and realized like I would need an actual job. So if you want to talk about existentials, and we do that for hours. I'll be very happy. But we added the executive summit a few years ago, right? To add that half day on Thursday where like people in suits could go feel comfortable with other people in suits and talk about that stuff. And we actually added in May this year, we're going to do a 1 day in Grand Rapids, a cyber strategy summit, we're calling it, which is the same thing. Basically, we're trying to get like executives in the room to actually talk about some of the security stuff they're dealing with and like come to like agreement on solutions and brainstorm. So we're trying to branch out of just not, the hacker stuff. We're trying to also really drive like executive, like security programming in a way where we can literally get people who know smart stuff together and let them drive decisions together to the benefit of everybody. Right. So we started that this year too. I know Viet, I know you very well. Like you used to like own people's computers in my class. Like Viet's dope if you don't know him. But like that's something we added to again drive more impact because we're getting way more impact with the people who make this budgeting decisions than we are with the people who are like turning the knobs. Not that they're not important too; they totally are. GrrCON is certainly the key cornerstone to what we're doing. But we just made sense this year to branch out a little bit more, a little heavier on. Like, let's get the people who make funding decisions aware of this stuff, so maybe they can fund their people and give them the money they deserve and training they deserve. But also, like, where can we just solve some problems where it's probably already been solved, but maybe not everybody knows because they don't all know each other either. So, But so real quick, Viet, sorry, I don't mean to call you out, but this guy. So I used to run a hacker simulation class. So basically, each half my class would run Windows 2000 servers, right? Literally Windows 2000. And one class, they'd have to defend that server. They couldn't turn on a firewall. So each week we meet. They would take turns. One would defend, the other week they would hack. And Viet by far like destroyed the other half. He put like bots on their machines. They're all in a VMware. So by the time they realized he was in, he already had their like core image like rooted. So they'd refresh their image and throw him out, and he's right back in there again.
Nice.
I walk over, he shows me his like panel. And I'm like, dude, like, what the hell? Like the game was over for him, right? So he's a really dope kid. So sorry,
go connect with those people. Yeah. You want those, right? Keep your friends close.
Lots of really smart people, right, that are literally watching this stuff. But yeah, those are just cool stories of people we've met and worked with. So hang
on, I gotta check real quick to see if we are.
Are you still teaching?
So no, not like professionally. I mean, I think my job literally is a teacher at my day job. But no, I got asked to do it again. But I live in the middle of nowhere now. I used to drive like an hour every like day to class to teach. And I was teaching like 5 classes a semester, even through the summer, like for 5 years. Like it was like the second full-time job almost. I just don't have it in me to do that. Like it's such a long drive, and I have so much other stuff going on. And my kids are getting older, and like, I'm an old man, so I'm trying to like grab as much time with them as possible. My daughter's already at Michigan State. My son's at high school, so I'm trying to not miss that much time with them. But they offer me online classes, but I don't teach online classes. I just can't do it. Like it's the same reason we don't do virtual GrrCON. There's just something about being in class and telling the stories that a lot of people, I'm sure Viet and Robert are aware of the stories I used to tell, like the goofy stuff people do that we have to deal with in security. It just doesn't translate. And then I did weird. Like I taught cyber espionage courses, like, and we did like the PI exam, which I don't know if anybody on this call on that. Like, so I would tell them like, hey, week 6 of class, you have exams with like 30% of your grade, and you have to give me the first 100 digits of pi. Like no notes, and nobody knows that, right? But that wasn't the point. The point was to make people think creative. Like, okay, how do I cheat and not get caught? Because they cheat, they get a 0. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff people did. Justin, who was in that class, had the best response. He just wrote 100 digits, knowing I wouldn't check it. Like, one person made like a slide with it on it, and then a black slide, so they walk by on the computer and flip back and forth. Somebody wrote it on the ceiling. They look up and see it. Like, it was actually really creative stuff they were doing. But it doesn't necessarily have to do with like technical cyber stuff. But being creative and thinking like an attacker is important. So some of the random stuff we did that you can't do that online. I'm not saying online classes aren't valuable. They are. Like I took online classes 100%. I'm just not the right person to teach those, and I don't want to put people in a position to get subpar instruction.
So my little left field thing that I want to pinpoint right there to that piece of the conversation is go invest in your local arts programs. They're important. Creativity is important.
100%. Like I hired one of my people I hired the first security job. They went to school for literally jewelry design, and she's awesome. And you know her, right?
Do
like
I?
You know who she is. Oh yeah, I 100% know. I don't want to say her name because I don't want to embarrass anybody. But like that's what they went to school for. Like I don't doesn't matter. None of my jobs have college degree requirements or certification requirements. So I had to actually like not throw up my mouth there a little bit. Like those aren't required. I don't care if you have certification or if you have a degree. I care you can do the job or have the capability to learn the job. Obviously, senior level roles are a little more experience based, but still, I don't require CISSPs. I don't require bachelor's degrees. Some people do, and that's still your business. I just don't believe in that personally.
Well, you also are very blessed in that the people that you tend to hire, you've interfaced with, so you don't need that validation. I think. Do you think that helps? True. Is that you know them already and you've spoken with them? So
it's a good, healthy sprinkling of that for sure. Like when I find good people, I do not let them leave. Like there's lots of people who will tell you those stories. I may find you a job somewhere else because I don't have an opening, but I'm coming back for you, right? Like that's how it works. Like I've literally done that with many people multiple times where I work with people for 3 jobs, right? Like 3 jobs in a row where I'll take a job off and then come bring it back and get them later. So there's certainly some of that. It really comes down to what are you hiring for, right? like when I hire, I've had big teams, like 100+ people teams, and I certainly don't know them all personally before like we hired them. But it comes down to during the interview process, I'm not asking technical questions. There's some people on the team will, for sure. I don't care about that at all. Like I can read your resume and see if you know technical stuff or not. What I'm trying to understand is your mindset, your personality. Like, are you somebody who's going to jump in here and like figure it out and just like get stuff done? Like that's what I care about. If you're not, then you're probably not a good person to work for me, because I don't micromanage. Like, we agree on a goal, and then I'm going to measure you, because I'm a very documentation heavy guy, to a lot of people's disdain. Like, I'm going to measure you those goals, and if you can't handle it, you'll know, and then I'll tell you, and it will not go well. So I'm trying to, like, I try to find people who can be creative and just drive results. If you you don't know this thingy, cool, go learn it. I don't care. It's your business. Or have somebody else do it for you. Again, don't care. That's not the results at the end of the day. Right? Just get it done. So
that's my favorite type of boss to work for, by the way. Is somebody that's like, go.
Right, just do it, right? A certification is a point in time snapshot. On this day and this time, I can answer enough multiple choice questions to pass an arbitrary bar somebody else set. That's what a certification is. I have a bunch of them. I get it. Like, I have them too, because they're check boxes for HR. I don't maintain most of them, because I'm not going to just keep giving them money to have letters that I don't care about anymore.
Oh, come on.
No,
but they want you to so bad.
I know, but that's all that is, right? A degree is, I went through these courses at some level of content. I don't know the instructors, and they're all so different, to achieve this piece of paper that I spent 4 years doing what was asked of me. Like, that's good. It shows you complete stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not going to tell me you have knowledge. It's going to tell me you actually know practical application, right? Yeah. Like, that's what I care about. Tell me a story when you did this thing. That's what I want. All I want are stories. I don't want yes, no, how does DNS work? When I see that thing, I just hang the phone up. Like, no. Like, we don't do those
Will, things. Do you hear Chris validating everything you guys do at Pima?
I'm loving this guy, right?
Sorry. And I go on a rant.
No. You're totally validating everything that Will and the rest of his team have built for students in their program.
So, dude, if you get an opportunity to come down to Tucson, we'll give you the red carpet tour through, right? Because what we've done is we've created a student-run data center, and the entire Center of Excellence is completely segmented from the rest of the college. So the students are in control of everything from the everything from desktop management all the way up to the Palo Alto firewalls, right? So I get it. One of the classes I teach is Wireshark, right? And if you segment yourself off from the rest of the college, I have my students say, okay, everyone go write your IP address on the board. I say, now take everybody else off the board. No rules. You do that in a normal college environment, and IT goes.
Right? I've been yelled at for that kind of same thing at my university, where we started unplugging switches and doing fun stuff, and they came and yelled at me. Yeah, I get you. Right. But you said Tucson,
right? Because teaching IT is not just a regurgitation of facts, but it's actually trying to figure stuff out.
Yep.
That's what real IT is, and you're nailing it. I love this.
Yeah, hands-on is the key, right? I mean, everybody. There's a few of my old students in the chat, right? That's what we most of my class, when we could do hands-on, that's what we did, right? Is hands-on. Even when I was teaching master courses, like, we literally built snort boxes as like a master's detection class, right? Because you may not use snort, but once you learn how that stuff works, it builds the foundation, right? It's like, yes, I've done that. Yes, I've done that. Yes, this is how I did it. Here are the things that that are going to be gotchas. But you said Tucson, Arizona, right?
Yeah.
So I'm actually planning to go to Tucson to go to the Air Museum. So like, I'll coordinate you after this. My son's in aviation, so like, he's all about that. So we are already planning to go down there and check out the Pima Air Space Museum.
So East Campus is like right next door to that, or we're really close.
Perfect. Right? Yeah, it will be this summer. Like, it'll be a thing.
Dude, gotta connect and come down and give you a chance to hang out and just have a good time with the students.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's awesome.
Love to have you.
Will's so excited right now. Will is so excited right now. He can't take it. He's like,
it's awesome. No, that's great. I totally agree. Like, that I think the practical application is more important than just memorizing stuff, right? There's some careers where that's the thing, right? Totally is. This is, I mean, in my opinion, this is my opinion. So please don't, I mean, you can scare me if you want, but security is really a craft, right? It's a trade craft. It is.
Right.
You still need knowledge, but application is what matters.
I agree.
The problem with certs is that once you have something along those lines that you are going to put out for everybody, it's too old.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
This industry is
really help.
this whole industry is changing so much, so fast, all the time. You have to be comfortable with the change more than just knowing specific facts.
Yep.
That if you don't love it, you don't want to get in this industry.
Right.
William actually asked, how do you circumvent the alphabet soup gatekeepers? I am usually very optimistic. Yeah. I'm like, go somewhere else.
That's it. Like, I've been many places where I come in, like, I always go to companies and like my job there is to rebuild and retune. Like, that's what I do. And then I get bored and I leave and I go somewhere else. Right. Like, that's almost always the thing where they're going to ask like super techie questions, like alphabet soup, like blah. You need some of the alphabet soup for HR for the checkbox, right? If you're looking for a job, because they don't, like, HR people, you can't expect them to understand security. Like, they know like these things mean you do these things and this degree means things. So I'm not saying don't get them. What I'm saying as a hiring person, like, that's shouldn't be the focus. And as the applicant, right, to get past that, really, if that's just a hard line they're going to take, then maybe that's not the right place for you, right? Not everything is. So otherwise, you can play that game too. Like, again, I have multiple certifications because at some point in my career, it was worth it to me to play the game to get the opportunity. But you have to make your own judgment on yourself. But change it from the inside, right? Like, that's what I choose to do. Like, get in and like, yeah, that's silly. We should stop doing that because it doesn't mean anything. That's right. Let me correct that statement before I get lambasted. That does not mean anything. It's just not what I prioritize.
That's fair.
Right. There's certainly value in certifications and degrees. There are. Just not what I look for when I'm hiring folks.
And not everybody's as awesome as Chris. So sorry.
No. There's lots of people way more awesome than I am, but I do appreciate you.
Well, the other thing we have there is the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range. So it's a public, open to the community. Anyone can come down, learn how to hack, right? And so it's a con environment. And when you come by, I'd love to get your feedback on how we can improve and other things that we can do, right?
Awesome.
And this has got to be a big, obviously, everything you've talked about, this is a big part of your heart and direction for why you do a con, is to provide that atmosphere where people can actually breathe, do stuff that they normally can't do other places, and explore, and then bounce ideas off of each other. It's beautiful.
Okay. No, I agree. That's the intent at the end of the day, right? Is like, how as a community we figure some of this stuff out and get past some of the roadblocks. They're always going to be there, but, so minimizing the impact, right? That's what we do in security. Right? You're not going to get rid of risk. You got to minimize it. But no, I would totally be interested in that. So we have cyber ranges here in Michigan. Like, there's a WIMCAT organization in Michigan that been stood up around the same kind of concept, like getting community access to these things. Like, totally thing. Like, I work with some of the colleges in the area. I'm on some of their advisory boards, right, to help drive some of those conversations, right. And I'll be honest, I'm not gonna say who, but I was at a college board meeting like a month ago, and we were talking about like technical skills. They're building this program for security. It was like Linux administration, like Cisco, whatever. And I was like, all these are great. Like, I don't have a problem finding people who know Linux. I don't have a problem finding people who know routing. I tell them what you're missing from your curriculum is, where are the people skills? Like, that's the thing. As security get a really bad rap, and a lot of it's very well deserved, that I was trying to work with the university to, like, okay, we need to add that too. Like, I get it. Like, that's not necessarily what your focus is, but if you want them to be successful, it has to be part of the focus, right? You need some of that in that curriculum, so they understand I'm not just going to sit on a computer and type all day and like live in a hole. Like, this isn't the 1980s anymore, right? Like, you have to be able to talk to people, or nobody's going to listen to you, and nobody listens to you then while you're there. Then you have no reason to be there, and then you don't have a job, right? Like, defending security is not just a cost center; is what I do every day.
Yeah, Josh.
Well,
Josh works remotely and he has to interface pretty regularly with the users of their network. Like, especially if there's any question about where they may be traveling or anything like that. And you can't come bum rushing at somebody because you're not just representing yourself as an employee, you're representing the entire security team.
Yep,
And if you're a jerk and then they get this impression that security people are jerks, they're not going to take the training you hope to bolster them with very seriously, and they're going to click through it really fast because they're going to be like, I hate all these people, they're jerks.
Right. They're not going to tell you when they see something weird going on because you're a jerk and you're gonna worry about the blame game, right?
Yep.
Like, totally agree. Like, blame is not a thing I care about. Like, I don't care. Like, let's just solve the problem. So
yeah.
Up there where you are too, there's a group called Mictra with Mark Tellier and stuff at the university there. He's working with us with the Arizona Cyber Warfare Range, and also in Wisconsin, we helped the University of Oshkosh get their thing going as well. Community is key.
Yeah.
Pulling together, sharing ideas, sharing understanding, helping each other to improve, massively important.
One of the biggest red flags I've ever seen in a team that I was a part of was there was somebody from another department that was interested in working in a cybersecurity role. And to do this, they decided to message different people within the cybersecurity team directly through the internal communications channels. And the red flag, that wasn't the red flag. The red flag was when several of these folks got together and were talking smack about the person that had reached out to them directly about, it was rude. They were rude. I brought it up to another leader that was part of my team that I thought that this may not be the best behavior and maybe those folks could be coached.
Yeah.
They basically told me to sit down and shut up. And you know what I did? I reached out to that person that they were dragging in the internal team channel, and I told them they were awesome for reaching out. And if people didn't respond to them, understand that maybe those aren't the people they want responding to them. And if they ever had any questions, they could continue to ask me questions, and I would get to them as I could throughout my day. Because you know what? F the police. And that's not how you create happy security environments. You just don't. You don't. And I was so disappointed at that point because I had this huge, shiny idea of who these people were that I was working with every day. And then they showed their true colors.
Yeah.
And I was like,
fortunate, right? Really, there's an opportunity there to go the other way, which I've seen done successfully in a few larger organizations that have those kind of resources, where we built out like security training programs, like internally developed, like 4 hours a month each team.
Yeah.
And we invite everybody to that stuff. Like, I want like the people working, in the cafeteria to like go learn some stuff about email phishing, like forensics. Like, are they going to use it? Probably not, but maybe we'll pique their interest. And what also we do with that internally within like IT and different parts of security, and even like, legal, is we did a bunch of cross training and really built a lot of good connections. Like, I had IR people go sit down with the pen test people and take a 4-hour class once a month, right? Because they want to be a pen tester. Like, literally open doors to them to get there. But that should extend to non-technical people. Like they're helpful and they can be helpful. And honestly, if there's more non-security people in your org that can tell you when stuff's going sideways, then you can possibly like find otherwise. Like, you want them to know they're not going to get yelled at when they say, "Hey, I think I got this phishing email," or "Hey, I clicked on this link." Like, you want them to tell you that.
Tell me as soon as you did it.
Right. Like, you don't get that by trashing people who are being like mean or playing the blame game. Like, I just say thank you, and I recommend all my folks and people, like everybody listening, like, just say thank you. That's it. Like, don't get HR involved. They clicked on stuff. Like, we don't need any more adversarial than we already are in security, right? Like, security can be a roadblock. I like to be a speed bump. Like, you can totally run over me. I'm just gonna make some noise when you do it. Like, that's what I'm not gonna stop you from doing anything. You want to be crazy, be crazy. I'm gonna tell you it's a bad idea and move on with my life. Right.
I love it. I think that's a good metaphor / antidote to end on because I know you've got to go at noon. So I'm hyper conscious of time today. Hyper vigilant.
I got to meet with HR and talk about hiring for people. Honestly, that's really what I'm doing. So
great. Hey,
awesome, Christopher. Thanks for what you guys are doing. It's just fantastic.
It is.
It's awesome. That's awesome. It's totally cliche, but it literally does take a village, right? I'm not doing that much. Jamie's doing way a lot, but really, like, it's all the volunteers. Like, the volunteers make this thing happen. The people volunteer time to run car hacking village, to run lockpick village, right? The run registration and hand out T-shirts. Like, without them, this thing would just fall over. So it's really on them. And I know there's a few volunteers probably in the channel, and literally, we super appreciate you. And come back and bring your friends. We always need more. We never have.
Exactly. You want to know where's the best place to meet people? At the front table, checking everybody in.
Our setup day, the day before, we just hang out, like 30 of us, and like shoot the crap and like put bags together and have a good time. And I think we have a good time. Like, it's fun. It's not always fun because I can be really intense. I know, Rachel, you probably aware of that. Like, when it's crunch time, I can be really intense and I'm a very direct person. I'm sure you.
No, I actually appreciate that. All the ism in me needs direct communication, and I love it. Because sometimes I'll run up to Chris and I'll be like, Chris, and he's like, nope, not right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I go, and then he goes, and then it's fine.
Yeah, that happens daily with lots of things, with lots of people, to be honest.
It does.
I'm just broken.
I hope, Chris, you enjoy the fact that you know that doesn't hurt my feelings at all. 1, I have none. 2, I just take it at face value. Absolutely. I'm like, nope, not right now. And then I go away.
I mean, we work in security. If you're not dead inside, you're probably doing it wrong.
Probably.
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Is it though? Anyway.
I just work here.
Chris, you're gonna get a fun little cup that you should hang out with whenever this is all over, and it's gonna be to your place of preferred shipping in 5 to 7 business days. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, I don't drink coffee, so it'll be a nice whiskey mug.
Excellent. It's a whatever.
I'm a rum guy, honestly, but that's a different conversation.
It's a whatever you want to put in your cup. I don't say put coffee in your cup. I just say grab a cup. That's it.
Awesome.
I don't care.
I totally appreciate you guys' time. Everybody who's watching, I totally appreciate it. Thank you. Like,
we love you.
Awesome to be invited. So.
Y'all have a great, and for our audience, thank you so much for coming and participating and hanging out with us and getting to know Chris. You can find him here at his QRE code linky thing. You can go check out GrrCON at this QRE linky thing. And to follow more shows. Next week, we're having your friend Mark Kikta on. So go there, follow that. And then if you want to check out Will's stuff, go there, follow that. Look, that's how we did that. And that's how we wrapped up a show.
Awesome. Mark is amazing. So I'm super excited you're bringing him on. Like, Mark is a dope individual. Like, I worked with him a couple jobs. Like, he's awesome. So
yeah, he is very awesome and does a whole lot of stuff all the time in all the places. And now he is CISO at Whirlpool.
He's the global director of information security.
Sure.
He'll correct you anyway, so I just did it for you. But he's wicked smart. Like, so, like, you want to like get down in the weeds, like, that dude will blow your mind.
Oh yeah, he's what I call the techno. He's a techno. I like him. He's fun. I always learn something new hanging out with Mark. Not that I don't learn something new hanging out with you, but Mark, it's like, here's all this information.
Yeah, we used to work together. I'd be like, dude, like, you got to double down for me. Like, cause I can't keep up. But
he's awesome.
Anyways, all right. Well, I got to hop. Thank you very much.
Bye. We love you. We're going to be here, and we're going to tell everybody bye, but you go.
Yeah.
Bye. You're like, I'm going to click his button off so he doesn't feel awkward about it. Isn't he great? He's like the greatest. Isn't he so great?
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
That is so exciting that he's going to be in your area this summer.
Oh, yeah. And he's, oh my word, he's picking summer to go to the Pima Air and Space Museum. Pima Air, for those that are not in the Tucson area, right? The Pima Air and Space Museum is fantastic. They've got about every plane going, tons of aircraft, and you can go and walk around and all that kind of stuff. But to do that in summer in Tucson, you bring lots of water, lots of sunscreen.
That's like anybody telling me that they're going to come to New Orleans this summer. Hey, can we hang out and meet up? And I'm like, is this an inside thing? Because Y'all know New Orleans smells whenever you finally get the preheated temperature to the correct degree, right? It doesn't smell nice anymore. We don't want to do that. It's real mushy. I would rather go to Tucson and be dehydrated in the summer than come and be sticky in South Louisiana. Summer's not the time to come this way or to go to the desert, but that's okay.
Yeah, well,
summer.
like I told you, it's interesting in Tucson because when you're moving stuff, right, you can't leave it out in the parking lot too long because it starts to sink in the asphalt. It's that kind of hot.
I'm not okay with all this heat. You guys do what you can to stop global warming this weekend. Will, I love you so much. We'll see you next week.
Awesome. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Mark Kikta. You guys got to go check it out. Go to the Secure Nation LinkedIn. Now that I'm not rushing through it because I was hyper aware of Chris's in time today. I'm like, oh my gosh, we will make this happen for you because I love you so much. Go to the Secure Nation QR code that I just popped up right there. You can follow the page. That would be handy. It helps me keep a job. I like it. Or you can just sign up for next week's, which I have already conveniently, did I? Before I say this, I will pin to the top if I have not already pinned to the top. It should be pinned, but it's the one with Mark Kikta. I think I did pin to top. Look at that. Mark Kikta. There. Now it's pinned to top. Hit the refresh on your browser. There you go. Now it's at the top. And you're going to click the attendee button so that I don't pester you later. And I'm like, hey, are you coming back? You came this week. No? Maybe? It would be awesome. Mark is cool, people. The first time I met Mark was actually through Chris, and it was this wonky, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey thing that was happening where all three of us worked at different companies and we were trying to work together, and it was a thing. And I immediately got this sense that Mark was shiny, awesome, sparkly people. And I clung to him and I was like, we're going to be friends now. Tough cookies. Get over it. And he's always down for answering any of my questions. He's always helpful. I've seen him be just an amazing human to other humans. And he's just a lovely person. Come meet him. He's going to be cool. He just going to be great. Next Friday, same bat time, same bat channel. So it'll be good.
Sounds
and
good,
hopefully Levy will be with us again. They were not feeling well today. So
yeah, get better, Levy.
Yes, get better, Levy. Anyhow, Will, you have a great weekend. I got to go plant some flowers.
Yeah, I got to head back to the college and we've got all sorts of stuff going on. So
nice. Give everybody our hugs and loves. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for grabbing a cup of